to Flipchat or Flip TV. I'm Biodun Kupuli. Today we have a book author to chat with, and he is in faraway United Kingdom. His name is Jeremiah Oyebode. Jeremiah Oyebode is a Nigerian author based in United Kingdom, and he has a 97-page book, The Roots, an anthology to his credit. This morning he'll be telling us how life has shaped him to write a book that deals with some contradictions and, of course, realities of life. You'll be talking about patience, contentment, and some virtues of life that actually face human beings. Jeremiah, how are you? Good morning. Hello, Jeremiah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Abiodun. I'm doing good. How are you too?
All right. Okay. Now, you wrote succinctly about life in your book, The Roots and Anthology. And I found out that you wrote so much about situations in Nigeria, the socio-cultural issues. Can you tell me your background to let me know where you're coming from, and of course to our audience?
Well, I was fortunate to be born in Nigeria, so to speak, in Kano State to be specific. So I grew up having my basic education in Kano State. And after spending about the first decades of my life in Kano State, my parents moved to the southwestern part of Nigeria, Ibadan to be specific, where I obtained my secondary school leaving certificate. And so I had my first degree in the north central part of Nigeria, University of Ilorin. So I was privileged to have lived in at least 3 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. So we have been able to experience different social political settings. Interestingly as well, I've also been able to experience different cultural backgrounds of people from where I've lived. I've lived in the north and in the west as well. And after some time, I had to move to England here, which has also helped me to experience a culture shift.
Hello, Jeremiah.
Yeah, Biodun, I can hear you now.
Hello, Jeremiah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. I was asking. How come you were able to capture succinctly Nigeria's social cultural situation, and you live in United Kingdom?
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, like I said earlier, I said I was privileged to be born and raised in northern part of Nigeria, which as Kano State. So I spent the first few decades of my life in Kano State before we moved to the southwestern parts of Nigeria, where I had my secondary school education. And also I was opportuned to school in the north central part of Nigeria, that is Kwara State. So I spent some of my time growing up in different cultures in Nigeria. So that helped me to be able to understand the social political scene of Nigeria. And that's how I was able to put it down in writing in my book, The Root.
Invariably, your book reflects your childhood experiences.
Well, to some extent, it does reflect my childhood experiences, and also some of my stories were fictions as well, where I tried to incorporate what I experienced and what some of my friends experienced, just to be able to pass some messages across to the readers. Take, for instance, my chapter one of the book, The Roots, is about the chief Adeniji.
Okay, one of your stories. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm with you, Abby.
I want to talk about Chief. Yeah, I want to talk about Chief stories. Which I found quite interesting. Now, I find that many Nigerians travel abroad for golden fleece. In search of the golden fleece, and you rightly mentioned in the book. You know, are you saying, considering what happened to Chief, Nigerians, you're not encouraging people traveling abroad? After all, you travel abroad too.
Well, Abby, I'm glad you mentioned Chief Adeniji. Well, considering what happened to Chief Adeniji, or let me say his grandchildren, he he tried to set a good legacy. He laid a good example for them. Unfortunately, the children did not follow the path their father led for them. He tried to raise them with love, and so that they can be bonded by the time they grew up. But fortunately, after his death, the family disintegrated. And so when the two grandchildren made themselves outside the shores of Nigeria, they were unable to be able to sustain the legacy their father left behind. But how was not in any way discouraging people from traveling or saying that traveling stops or breaks the bonds of unity within the family circle. Take, for instance, Anthony Joshua. Despite the fact that he's a British boxer, he still visited Nigeria. And when he went to Shagam, there was one of the statements he mentioned that I so much cherish. He said he would never be far from his roots. So traveling shouldn't be a barrier towards family unity, that I can even contribute towards it, because you will definitely miss people back home. If once there's love and unity among family members, no distance will be able to separate or break that.
Oh, that's fantastic. How often do you also visit home?
Yeah, I have not visited home since I traveled, but I always call people back home. We talk regularly. I still have I can never forget my roots. If you want to know where we're going to, we mustn't forget where we're coming from. And a river that forgets its source will always run dry. So we must never forget where we're coming from. But soon I'll be visiting Nigeria, hopefully.
Wow. I expected your book to also reflect Nigerian lifestyles in England or UK, so that people can learn from that.
Yeah, if you had read through the chapters, chapter one, for instance, reflected life of two students who lived abroad. That is the grandchildren of Chief Adeniji, and Jennifer and Charles. And then chapter six as well talks about a family that stayed in Canada. So while a major part of the book focused on Nigeria, but part of it as well talks about life of people who stay abroad, students and also couples as well who stay overseas. So it's a combination of characters in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, but it's more focused on the ones in Nigeria.
Well, how do you think Nigerian family heads and, of course, leaders can actually uh, make Nigeria attractive for Nigerians to stay there and not, travel abroad? I mean, considering the effect of brain drain.
Well, thank you, Adeline. In my book, I addressed some issues which I know definitely they are something you must have experienced as well. For instance, in the family of Chief Adeniji. It talks about bringing up children with love, cherishing one another, and also being in peace with one another. The nucleus of every society is a family. Families make up society, make up community. So if each family head takes it as a responsibility to bring up his wards or his children in a loving way, in a way whereby they cherish one another, they cherish life, definitely we will have a society that's love or values life of one another and also uphold the true meaning of humanity. And when it comes to our leaders, a chapter in the book says, I want to be like you. And that chapter focuses more on one of the professions that people try to look down on, which is the teaching profession. Aviona, I believe you agree with me that we both are not happy with the state of the quality of education in Nigeria at the moment. Take, for instance, ASU. From, so these lecturers have been on strike for about 200 days now. And
Yeah.
so we can see what's the future, what our future leaders, so to speak, that is students are experiencing at the moment. So this is a call to family heads and also to leaders to come together and see ways by which they can be able to reach, to make Nigeria greater. And another thing is for those of us in diaspora as well who have traveled, who have been able to live in an environment where things work, where there's organization, where there's value for money, coming together, putting our heads together so that we can all have a collaborative effort to take the matters of leadership in the country.
No doubt Nigerians abroad can play a role in degenerated Nigeria. But succinctly, let me put it this way. What do you think, or why do you think Nigerian writers don't actually reflect the Nigerian situation in their books? You have
Well,
done pretty well, but most Nigerian writers don't do that.
I think, do you have an example of anyone? Or is there something that has motivated you to ask the question, if I may ask?
Well, yeah, I have read a couple of books that are actually, reflecting what happened in other places.
Yeah, thank you, Abe. Actually, you're right. What happened is, back home, there are so many articles that have been
And
written
leave
mainly for.
Nigerian situation not addressing it critically.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me, Abiodun? Can you hear me, Abiodun?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I said back home in Nigeria, there are so many articles.
I can hear you.
Yeah, there are so
Yes,
many.
go ahead.
There's, okay, there are so many articles that have been written, which are just focused on Nigeria. But I think we can borrow a leaf or take from the example of Instagrammers and TikTokers who have been able to penetrate or taken out their works outside the shores of Nigeria and penetrated into the international community. So what I would suggest, or I would say, is writers can as well imbibe this culture by writing not only for Nigerians, but also making their work presentable so that it can be consumable into a global community. Take, for instance, Chimamanda Adichie Ngozi has been able to do this successfully. She has been able, from her book, Popular is Viscous, and The Americana. So she has been able to gain global
Hello?
attention. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me as well?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me as well?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay, now next month, Nigeria will be celebrating its independence anniversary. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly, Abiodun. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I said
Hello.
next month Nigeria will be celebrating its independence anniversary. What's in your opinion are the factors bedeviling Nigeria from achieving its potentials as an author and a critic?
Oh, hello. 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 Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. What was the
I just
question
asked
again?
you, as Nigeria moves towards independence anniversary next month, what are the factors bedeviling the country from achieving its potentials?
Oh, okay. You just reminded me of
Yeah,
how excited we used to be back then as students when the independence holiday was approaching. Well, the factors hindering Nigeria from achieving our potential at the moment, and that we just well need to do away with selfishness and take the love of one another first, as it's loving other people as ourselves. Then we'll need to do away with corruption as well, which is one of the major factors that is hindering the development of our country, among other things. But I think corruption has encroached so many parts of the country and so many government parastatals as well, almost all facets of life. So once we have a less corrupt country, then I believe Nigeria will be great.
you have many things on your table, no doubt about it. No, but do you think you have some areas of interest you want to talk right about in Nigeria so soon?
Well, one my works in progress right at the moment, one of them is the ascendancy. So it talks about the transatlantic slave trade, which is a triangular slave trade, the effect of it on the average Nigerian mind. So I'm trying to still doing some research on it, especially about a character, so that I'll be able to portray it and be able to drive home the lessons. So the book in progress will be able to address some of the issues of Nigeria, and I believe readers will find it interesting, as it will be able to elucidate some of the solutions I think that we all need to be able to have a country we deserve or we want.
Okay. You
Sorry, I can't hear you.
write the books, then after some time, book to screen is the in thing now. It's becoming more popular in Nigeria. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said book to screen is becoming popular in Nigeria now. In fact, all over the world, whereby movie producers approach the authors to have rights to their books and then adapt for film. Are you looking forward to that? Do you think the roots can also be can be applied in this direction
Wow,
because of his team?
yeah, Abiodun, I'll be so excited if you have the link of any of these actors or producers and you can link me up with them. I have
Oh,
always admired the works of Tunde Afolanyo, Tunde
oh,
Kilari.
great.
So I'll be so gleeful and overjoyed if any of them can adopt one of my stories. Yeah, in the roots they can adopt the roots, They can adopt I Want to Be Like You. The roots helps us to appreciate having a close-knit family unit. And all of as I've said earlier, having a close-knit family unit, having love and peace within the family, we also transcend into the community. Then I Want to Be Like You as well helps us to appreciate the teaching profession, as I've said earlier, and also helps leaders to see what they can do to make the citizens happy. Then what goes around as well teaches a lesson that no evil done by man to man can go forever. There must
Hmm.
always be consequences or repercussion for it. You cannot do evil scot-free. So these are valuable lessons that I think they can adopt in their stories, from
Yeah,
my stories in any of the movie they are shooting.
yeah, great lessons there. Great lessons there. Generally, I know that the publishing industry is facing a lot. Were there challenges to publish the book? I know you have a publisher, STLK in UK. Were there challenges before you got the book? Contracted to be published.
Well, your observation is correct, Abiodun. But thanks to God, I've been fortunate to work with um, a very nice publishing company or industry, SCLK. He gave me the liberty, the freedom to be able to publish my team. He didn't dictate anything to me. I was the one who came up with my story, and then he welcomed my ideas. So he gave me free will to operate. So I've been fortunate. I didn't experience any problems along the way with him.
Well,
It's been a
I know
smooth
of
ride with him.
instances. Okay, I know of instances whereby some publishers were made, some writers were prompted by the publisher to do something commercial. Something that we probably be on the bookshelf and be hot sales. You know, were you ever have you ever confronted such a challenge?
Well, like I said earlier, thankful to God, I've never been confronted with such a challenge. SCLK and I have been working as like brothers, as so to speak. So there's been this unity and bond between us. So I've been writing just to be able to pass my message across to people, not for commercial reasons. And so SCLK has given me the liberty to do that as well.
Okay, I'm sure you must have heard about the liquefied natural gas prize for literature in Nigeria that encourages young writers and others to also actually publish their books. Can you share your view about these opportunities? That is open to writers.
It's a thing of joy that writers are gaining attention at this moment. You know, the liquefied natural gas literary award uh, shows that everyone now is now trying to appreciate what writers are doing. And take for instance, it's not limited to those residing in Nigeria or in Africa, but once you're in Nigeria and you're staying anywhere, you can be able to participate in this competition. And the grand prize as well shows how much they have invested in this competition and how much they cherish this competition. So it's a welcome idea, and I really appreciate it. I'm excited about it that at the moment writers are beginning to get more recognition.
Now, not many books are interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
what challenge do you have trying to make your books or your writing interesting?
Yeah, one of the challenge I do have is trying to be empathetic. That is putting myself in the position of the characters that that I'm writing about. So sometimes I need to sit down, think, do a lot of thinking before I can be able to put myself in the character or portray myself in the image of the character I'm writing about. So that's one of the challenges I have. But
Um,
uh,
okay, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Jerry, a lot of books, I mean, some books, and of course, that's the dream of many authors, I would say, their books are adopted by schools or by government as part of the literature test. How will you feel if the roots and anthology is adopted by state government in Nigeria?
The roots. has about 8 chapters, and each chapter drives home very important lesson. I will be so happy and overjoyed if the state government adopt it in their literary test, because chapters 5 of it says a lesson or a reward for perseverance, and it talks about a student, John, who failed a secondary school exam, his SSCE, and after persistence and putting in more effort, he was able to excel. His parents could not send him to school. He had to strive hard to send himself to school, and then he came out graduating well after putting in so much effort in his studies. And eventually, he did get a good job as expected. But with determination, he was able to go into entrepreneurship and later got a good job. So the lesson there, in essence, is perseverance. So if students read that or read that chapter or any of the part of the roots, they'll get to see many lessons. So students need to persevere in their study. They need to put in effort because nothing good comes easily. The government as well have their own lesson to learn, because there's a part that discusses on what governments need to do to make us happy so that others can adopt the teaching profession and see it as a lucrative profession. I'll be glad if governments if any state government adopts my book as a literary text, because it is written in simple languages or simple terms whereby students can easily grasp different meanings from it. And then everyone as well, be you parents or a worker or a student as well, or a child, you can always have 1 or 2 lessons to pick from it. So to be a thing of joy to me.
That's fantastic. Let me also ask you this question. Assuming you were to go on an island, this is a trivia anyway,
Okay.
and you're asked to take 3 books along with you. Can you tell me the text that will interest you to come to you go along with?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, assuming you are to go on an island and you have to take just 3 books with you. Can you tell me 3 books that will fascinate you that you go to or go with on the island?
Well, I'll go with my book, The Roots. And then if I finish with The Ascendancy, I'll go with it. And then what other book I'll go with is Popular Hibiscus, written by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Yeah, good. Let me take another. I give you another trivia. Tell me your favorite male and then a female
My
that made the
favorite,
most impression on you.
sorry, the question again. I didn't get.
Your favorite African author
Okay.
that makes the most of impression on you. Male and female.
Okay. My favorite male writer was Olarotimi. I read this book while growing up because I know to blame. And also what the female is Ngozi, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Popular Hibiscus, because it has gained popularity even in the international community. And I love the way she writes her novels or her books.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremiah. It's been a very interesting time with you on Book Fire, and I hope we get to talk to you again on this program and this channel, Flip TV. I hope you come back home soon.
Hopefully, and I'll get to see you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much for your time.
I'll be glad to see you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting session there with Jeremiah. He's a book author, and of course, his book, The Roots, an Anthology, is on the shelf. Jerry, are you still there? Oh, he's gone. Okay. I wanted to ask him if he has a digital version of his book online. Anyway, we get to information across to you if he confirms that. Well, until next time when we meet on Book File, my name is Biodun Kupoli. Thank you.